What's up, everybody? Cole Sands here again with your weekly fishing report. It is August 16th, 2021, and I think I can safely say that the dog days are here. The fish have really slowed down a little bit. It's been super hot. The water temp is close to 90 degrees in some places. So the fishing's been tough. Now, with that being said, had a good week guiding, had some days that were tougher than others, had a couple good days. It's just very hit or miss right now. It seems like it's all about timing. And what I mean by that first hour of daylight is very critical. That last hour before dark is very critical. And the fish are biting in windows. Like I said, that first hour of daylight seems to be good. And then it seems like there's a little bit of a lull. It's usually between 10:30 and noon. If you get a little bit of wind, the fishing's still been good all throughout the day. But, you know, in the middle of the day when there's just no wind, it's hot, sun's out, it's been pretty tough. You know, there's ways to still catch them. You can really slow down with the Texas rig, like a Cinco, something like that. But it's been really tough. But with that being said, looking at the weather this upcoming week, we got a lot of rain coming in. The temperature is supposed to cool down about 10 degrees into the 80s. And what that tells me, it's about to be topwater time on Chickamauga. Whenever them fronts push through, it seems like the fish really feed up, and there's no better way to catch them than throwing a topwater. But before we go into what to expect for this week, what to look for, let's talk about this past week on my guide trips, what worked best. My best day was probably on Tuesday. Had a really good 5-fish stringer for this time of year, you know, being August. We'd been pushing probably 20 pounds. And we caught them really on 2 baits. A Texas rig, we were throwing a crawl, and we were also throwing a Gambler 10-inch worm. And we caught them with this. We were throwing it in grass in the morning, and then as the day went on, we kind of transitioned to fishing brush piles. You know, it got really hot and still during the middle of the day, and we started fishing just isolated pieces of cover. Anywhere from about 10 to 15 foot of water, and caught a couple good ones doing that. Even fished a couple rock piles mixed in, kind of bounced around a lot. And that was definitely our most productive bait that day, along with the good old-fashioned drop shot, you know, just little 3/16 ounce weight, 1/4 ounce weight, something like that. Gambler, Weebo worm, Morning Dawn's really hard to beat, Pinky, something like that. Something natural, green pumpkin. And those have been my top producing colors for that. So that was our best baits on Tuesday. But as the week went on, that drop shot was a key player every single day. It seemed like even the tough days, I could go to a couple places with that drop shot, and we'd catch, you know, 4 or 5 fish off a couple spots. And that kind of pulled us through on the tougher days. Along with a Cinco, just throwing like an 1/8 ounce weight, super light, even a weightless Cinco. And what I like a Gambler Ace. If I'm gonna throw a weightless, I like the 6-inch Ace. Watermelon red, something like that. And the reason I like the 6-inch a little bit better throwing weightless is you can just cast it a little bit farther, it weighs more. If I'm throwing an 1/8 ounce weight, a lot of times I'll go down to the 5-inch, downsize a little bit. Same with colors though. Green pumpkin. This is one of my favorites that Gambler makes. It's the Magic Crawl, so it's got a little blue in it. But it's just basically green pumpkin with some blue. That was really good. Then as the week kind of progressed, you know, we're still catching them on the Texas rig, still catching them on the drop shot, a few in a jig here and there. But started to get the old swim bait to play a little bit. Now, you're not going to get a ton of bites with this, don't get me wrong. But you will get some good bites. Got it to play a little bit, and that's always fun. I look forward to this upcoming week throwing it some more. And then just the same baits we've been throwing. I've talked about them every week, and this has been the baits I've been throwing to get them big bites. Yozuri, pencil popper. That's kind of a cool little translucent bluegill color. And then just the pencil. Pencil when it's flat calm, pencil popper when you get a little bit of wind. Natural colors on Chickamauga. If it's cloudy and rainy, I'll switch to bone. But something I did switch in this week a little bit is the hardcore popper. And I just, you know, I figured I was looking at the fish that were blown up in these grass mats and these grassy areas, and they're blowing up on little bitty bait. And while it's great if you can get them to come up and hit this, I was like, man, I'm gonna try this popper out. And the reason I like this popper a lot, one is that cup shape. You can actually walk the dog with this. So it's very similar to this, you know, pencil popper, but it's like a micro pencil popper. So you can throw it out there and walk it side to side, and it looks just like a small shad. Plus the cool thing about this hardcore popper, while it is a small bait, it's got that weight transfer system. So, you know, traditionally a popper, you can't throw it super long ways. Well, those days are gone with this thing because you can launch it like 70 yards. I mean, you can bomb cast it just as far as you can any other topwater. So you see him come up schooling, fire it out there, give it a pop, 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 and I actually caught some really good fish on this week. So that was a lot of fun. Something to look forward to this upcoming week. And then it seems like the best way to get a big bite, now you're not going to catch a bunch of fish most likely, but if you're just going out looking for a big fish, you know, going after one of them fish that Chickamauga is known for, this is just a good old punching setup. Out there about 1.25 ounce weight, and that's a Gambler Stinger. Really good flipping bait. That's one I like a lot. I think it's California 420, green pumpkin with some black and red in it. Really, really, really good bait. So that was definitely the most productive baits this week. It seemed like grass and 5 to 10 foot of water is definitely the most productive right now. Now, with that being said, I got maybe 1 or 2 ledges that are still playing a little bit, a couple deep holes, but there's definitely a huge transition going towards the grass, which I like. You know, it's one of my favorite ways to catch them, and I look forward to this fall. There's some grass in some areas where I haven't seen grass in like 4 years, which really, really excites me. I know there's going to be a really good spook bite this fall. You know, that topwater, like a pencil bite, is going to be phenomenal, and I think it's going to be a really good frog season, which to me, frog season starts middle of October, runs into early December even. So y'all be sure, if y'all want to get in on a frog trip, that's my absolute favorite way to catch them. November is definitely my favorite month on Chickamauga. So be sure to hit me up, look me up on Facebook, Cold Sands Fishing. If you want to come frog fishing with me, we'll have a blast, I promise. But looking forward to this upcoming week. Like I said, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, nasty weather. Throw moving baits, chatterbait. I've talked about in previous videos. Chatterbait and topwater. With that rain, get you a pencil popper and bone. Don't put it down. I'm telling you, you'll have a blast. Catch some really big fish doing that. So that's what I'll do this upcoming week. That's kind of what I expect, is to be able to pick up more moving baits, transition from some of these Texas rigs and Cincos, these drop shots, kind of put this to the back burner and pick up a topwater, make it my #1 rod. That's what I hope for anyways. That's what I expect. And just look for bait, you know, look for the bigger bait in the grass, look for the gizzard shad, the bluegill. And a big thing lately too, I'll tell you, follow the wind. If you notice there's some grass that the wind's really blowing on, go fish that. That seems to be a big thing right now, because if you've noticed, in a lot of that grass you get in the water super, super clean. And them fish know, they know the difference between an artificial bait and an actual shad. So pick up a topwater when you get around that wind, chase it down, and just go to work. Thank you guys. Look me up on Facebook, like I said. Book a trip. I really appreciate it. And subscribe. I'm going to be giving away a 4-hour guide trip since I get to 1,000 subscribers. So be sure and subscribe. I look forward to fishing with one of y'all, and appreciate the support. Thank you guys.